Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. We've definitely got like a cozy look going on here with this filter with like the sparkles and the sweater. Kind of cute, not gonna lie. Once again, we're drinking coffee out of our Christmas llama mug, even though it's like July. Alright, so this next chapter is called A Dragon Karate Kicks My Face. Ulmu dismisses us, and we make our way to one of the elevators. As we walk, I position the translator's earpiece in my ear. It fits comfortably. I press the center button on the control box, and a quick pinging sound in my ear indicates that it's active. Out of earshot of his boss, Ron lights up with a bubbly conversation. So, Altair has 600 plus floors. We stand in front of an elevator. The elevators respond to voice commands. They recognize the floor number of the destination or its name. For example, you could say either 452 or Launch Bay 2B, and it'll take you there. That's useful if you know where you want to go, but not the level that it's on. An elevator arrives and we get in. Level 9, Ron says. Level 9, the voice responds. The door opens at level 9 onto a corridor along which a number of assorted uniformed aliens are moving around. They look at Ron and I, some with curiosity, while a couple of aliens' face register what I can only interpret as distaste. As we move along the corridor, I see that there are a large number of holographic pictures identifying the various species' residents. But Ron isn't represented. We reach a door with a retinal scanner. Below the scanner is a plaque that reads 915. Ron places his eye against the scanner and the door clicks open. We step inside and I'll follow. I'll be honest, I don't know what I was expecting from my big brother's living quarters, but it wasn't this. I guess some things never change, and Ron's military training has not made him any tidier. His room is the size of a standard hotel room, and it is a mess. The bathroom is on my left. A sizable closet is on my right. The bathroom smells like lemony bleach, and the shower stall is a large glass pillar with a tiled floor and 3 shower heads. Ron's bed juts out of the wall, floating without legs. It has a white mattress with a black blanket and soiled pillows. A white canopy overhangs it. There's a viewport on the far wall, but it's covered, masking whatever lies beyond. Gazing up at the ceiling, I see the large, circular light which is giving his bedroom a soft white glow. Schoolwork is scattered about like confetti. A half-empty coffee cup filled with a mysterious brown liquid has left a circular stain on a page of a notebook which lies half open on the floor. Leaning over, I frown at the thin layer of mold forming on the liquid surface. Sorry about the mess, he says. I was studying before I left. While his back is turned, I scoop the coffee mug from the floor to his desk. Drop your stuff off here. He pats his mattress. I toss my backpack towards it. It sails over the bed and lands on the floor on the other side. Lesson number 3 about lower gravity. I go and retrieve it, placing it firmly on the bed, trying not to pay attention to Ron's laughter. I find a chair to sit in. You were telling me about Altair's layout, I say. Ron continues to explain the layout. Right. Well, military quarters are on the 2nd to 24th floors, right above the main hall. Higher-ranking officers like me are on the 9th. As a new recruit, you'll be on the 24th floor. He puffs out his chest. Looks like his initial embarrassment has worn off. How many people live here? Around 97,000. How many? I gasp. Only around 97,000. But you've got to remember that we're actually the smallest Citadel outpost, in the newest. Even then, that's barely enough for the size of Altair. My jaw drops. 97,000. Holy crap! You bet, Ron explains. As you know, the top floor is Ulmu's suite. Then you've got probably 40 floors for administrators. Some are concerned with everything that affects Altair itself, and each of the 33 species is represented in that group. Their duties run from intelligence gathering to waste disposal and recycling, with everything in between. Then, each of the species we have here so far has dozens of administrators to look after the affairs unique to that species. Each species has 10 to a dozen levels of accommodations and services required by that species. Add in that there are a number of medical staff with specialist groups of physicians for each species, since they all have different organs and metabolisms. On top of that, we have the guest astrophysicist, the maintenance staff, the housekeeping crews, and the large kitchen crews needed to create such a wide variety of native foods. Most importantly are the military staff. You know, it all adds up. I'm staggered by the numbers, but when he analyzes it, it makes sense. If Altair is the smallest outpost, My mind can't imagine the size of the bigger ones. Ron interrupts my wandering thoughts with practical matters. I'll clean the floor and grab you a sleeping bag, he grins. But before that, how about you meet my best friend? She's a real firecracker. Sure, I say. So we go back into the hall and the door closes behind us. More students come and go, possibly from class. I pass a tiny dog person wearing pajamas. An elevator door opens and I see that most of the space is taken up by two large students with leather skin, bulbous heads, and short, thick tails. We squeeze ourselves in and I'm forced to squish up against Ron's shoulder. 262, Ron says. We ride down in silence, stopping once at their floor, where Ron and I had to get out into the corridor to let them off. We get back in and the door slides silently closed. We resume our descent. So, what kind of species were they? Meekeeks. Real mean folk. Don't like anybody but themselves. He pauses for dramatic effect. Also, meekeeks have acid glands that shoot venom out of their mouths, so don't go picking a fight with them. The elevator stops at level 262, and the door opens. We walk the length of the corridor and reach a dead end. Frowning, I cross my arms. Does your friend live in the wall? He laughs. No, look down. I do so and see a brass plate with an iron handle set in the floor. Ron reaches down and pulls the door open, allowing a rush of warm air to hit me in the face. It smells of wood smoke and copper. I see a shaft with a ladder clamped to the wall. Ron lowers himself in and begins climbing down. I follow. The glow from above provides some dim illumination. She's in here. He jumps off the last couple of steps and lands with a light thud. I make my way down a little more cautiously and find myself in a workshop, filled with a mind-blowing cluster of futuristic equipment and tools. Large red neon poles pulsing with energy are held against the metal rafters with heavy steel clamps. What look like fighter craft are stationed above us on silver ramps. On the other side of the room, I see a ship hovering with a beam of energy, causing the air to shimmer below it. Looking down at my feet, I stare at a screwdriver that's the size of my arm. Everything that I can identify is twice the size of its earthly counterpart, and there are many items that are completely alien. Even the roof spans slightly over 20 feet. To my left, an old-school furnace, fitted with a metal plate on the inside, sends sparks into the warm air. Ron is looking around this vast area. Miv! Thump. Ron crosses his arms. What, you don't want to congratulate me on a mission well done? I scan the multiple metal contraptions and railings before spotting a monstrous lizard-like tail. I scan the multiple metal contraptions and railings before spotting a monstrous lizard-like tail higher up, on a platform. Whoa! Unnerved, I jump backwards, but Ron is smiling up at the figure. The tail flicks, grating against the metal surface as it moves. A huge, scaly, clawed hand appears. Next comes an enormous head. It's nothing like I've ever seen before, but it closely resembles my childhood images of a dragon. Seeing the broad grin on Ron's face, I figure that this must be Miv. She, well, I assume that it's a she, has dark red scales, and when her eyes flick open, they reveal yellowish crimson irises against black. She looks down at me, huffing black smoke from her two nostrils. Razor-sharp teeth catch the light from the open fire. She has no wings. Instead, she has two arms fitted with a tool belt and holsters. This must be your little brother. Greetings, Finbates. She jumps, slamming onto the ground. Her tail trails behind her. A growl rumbles from her chest before she speaks. I'm glad to see Ron will have assistance on his mission to finally go home. Miv is wearing a scorched white shirt underneath a leather blacksmith's apron and a pair of loose pants rolled up to her knees. Her feet are bare. She also doesn't seem to notice the oil stains on her ebony scales. He didn't take much convincing either. Just one or two bouts with a spawn and he's battle ready, Ron tells her. Miv's tail curls up against her feet and she fixes her shirt. I can't stop staring up at her like I'm prey about to be eaten whole. She is, I would guess, about 7.5 feet tall. I see you're in shock, young Finn. Don't worry, that is a very normal reaction. I'm the only Draconian on Altair. Many avoid me. Ron walks up, nudging her on the arm. Their loss. Now all your cool gear is mine. I think the next sound she makes is her version of a laugh. If you promise not to tattle on me. Miv nudges him in the chest with one of her elongated claws. He stumbles, trying not to fall butt first. Miv turns her head to me. I'll explain. I'm an engineer, and I've created some unique gadgets. I can mod and create almost any tool, if given enough spare parts and time. Miv looks back at my brother. So, you want something special for Finn, I assume? Smoke cascades from her nostrils, as if heated by an internal fire. Ron nods. See, Finn's got a bit of a disadvantage. He's got 2 days before his exams. All the other lucky students get to study for months. The fact sits like a rock in my stomach. Miv's tail twitches. She sits up straight. Yes indeed. How unfair. She looks genuinely perturbed. Come. She turns around. I have the perfect device to assist you with your current predicament. She leads us past the fighters into a back room. A black metal box is lying crooked against the wall. She gives it a tug and it bangs onto the floor. Opening it with one claw, she picks up a tiny chip, gesturing towards me. It looks like an ant in her oversized palm. This is my one-of-a-kind move memorizer, she says. Move memorizer? I say, puzzled. What does it do? It's what you Earthlings might call an aide-mémoire. You attach this chip to the back of your ear. When you're ready, click this little button once. She points to a small blue button on one edge of the device. From what Ron tells me, you'll be studying tactics. As you learn about attack maneuvers, the move memorizer will allow you to absorb and copy them exactly. Miv ponders for a moment. For example, suppose you're in a battle with an individual who knows an advanced fighting style. Simply press this chip. Instantly, you'll know their fighting style yourself. Ron's eyes go wide. I'll take that one, he says. I never did have time to learn karate. Miv slams her other hand over the chip, pulling away from him. No way, she scolds. This is for Finn. I assume he has no battle training, correct? I give a sheepish nod. The move memorizer is not Citadel sanctioned equipment. Try to be discreet with it, okay? Opening my palm, she gingerly gives me the gadget. The device has a white face, and the back is blue and green. The tiny blue button is set on one edge. Why not try it? Place the white material on your skin. I gently press the contraption behind my ear where it clicks into place. This is a prototype, so it can only memorize movement for 10-second intervals. She grins. Also, I feel a sudden zap. A small electric shock races from one side of my skull to my eyes. The connection programming between the chip and your eyes isn't fully refined, so it hurts a little when you use it. Why would he want something that doesn't work? Ron scoffs. It does work, she snaps at him. The pain is worth it. In his case. It's not that bad, I tell Ron. You see, Miv says triumphantly. How about a demonstration? I'll perform a mock attack against Ron. So, I just have to look at you? Directly, that's right. Now press the small black button. She takes a step back, leaning against the wall. I triggered the contraption and the electric current I felt in short bursts now turns into a slight rumble. My eyes widen as a light blue hue coats my cornea, lighting up Miv's form. With her large tail, Miv makes a sweeping motion like a bat aiming for a baseball. The force behind the blow sweeps past my face, the wind making me stumble onto my heels. Her tail curls into a resting position as she finishes the attack on all fours. Blinking twice, the hue disappears. Zap! A tingle ripples through me as my left foot automatically shifts into an arc. Allow your mind to copy the move, Miv instructs me. Your body will follow. All right, body. Move. My other leg bends. I'm sent into an involuntary sweeping motion. Every muscle in my body tenses. My heart races with excitement. Whoa! I'm astounded as my foot swings through the air, almost taking out Ron. I finish with my arms raised and fists closed, both feet on the ground. My balance? Perfect. Nice, dude, Ron says. That was a full-on karate kick. Zap! Ow! I rip off the chip, leaving a sticky residue behind. I glare at the memorizer in my hand. At the moment, the memorizer should only be used for short periods. It won't kill you, although as long as it's on, it'll become progressively more painful. I'm working on a new model that'll eliminate that problem. I'll let you know as soon as I've worked out the reversed circuitry. It's in my nature to help my friends. Looking up at her, I smile. Thank you, Miv. I appreciate this. She nods. I wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors, Finn. It would benefit us greatly to have somebody like you on our side. Ron and I climb back up the ladder to the corridor. That's enough of the serious stuff, he says. Come on. He leads the way back to the elevators and takes us to level 31. As we walk together down the corridor, I hear the sound of laughter coming from one of the rooms. The pinging of a pinball machine confuses me. We pass the open door, and I stop because I'm fascinated to see strings of rainbow lights festooning from the ceiling. These are cycling through many colors, but so subtly that it takes me a moment to recognize the changes. Shadows dance across the floor where a small group of assorted aliens are playing a game that completely mystifies me. Well, this is weird. What are all these rooms for? My head spins as I hear the percussive sound of gunshots, but with an epic sound of action music coming from another room across the corridor. This floor is the best floor, hands down. He lifts 3 fingers, then 1. 31. It's the arcade, with games rooms, home theater, library, sauna, you name it. Wait, what kind of headquarters is this? It's starting to sound like an all-inclusive vacation resort. Why do you have rooms like this? Well, many of the staff spend their lives on Altair. Administration, maintenance, medical, it's their home. And there are also people like me. When we aren't on missions, we can come down here to unwind. He notes, it's not like Earth where you can travel to Europe or Hawaii for a vacation. The Citadel does whatever it can to make their outposts as welcoming and fun as possible. What would you like to see next? Ron asks. The swimming pool? The library? Wait, not now. Let's go back to your quarters, I tell him. I need to study. If I don't pass these tests, I won't become an Aster, and I can't help you come home. Yeah, I guess so, he nods. But there is one thing you need to see first. We go back to the elevators, which takes us to the 25th floor. Umul may have a great view of space, but we got something pretty fancy on this level too. The elevator doors open up into a large lobby with several tall windows on all the walls overlooking the vastness of space. In the center is a gigantic kraken statue, the tentacles swooping out and curling through the air. An alien with blue fur and 1 yellow eye sits on the edge of the concrete base with a holographic laptop. The kraken fountain has 2 pools of knee-deep water, decorated with bright green lily pads and rainbow fish. Petite brown chairs paired with circular tables skirt them. I hear the sound of tumbling water. It's coming from a mini waterfall. Ron, this is beautiful. He smiles, looking to take it as a personal compliment. This is Altair's main hall, he says. I'm curious about the fountain. I've been meaning to ask you, why is everything water and fish themed? Let's get back to my quarters and I'll tell you over some coffee. But being on the 24th floor, you're going to be looking down on this. Pretty neat, eh? Yeah, sure sounds like it, I say. We go back to his quarters and I settle down, coffee in hand. Now, Ron begins. Remember I told you there are 5 Citadel outposts? We are Altair, our sigil is the Kraken. Next is Vesta, the lightning bolt. Edis of nature. Jakria, the arrow. And Othinda, the sword. Originally these were just names, but over hundreds of years the students took it upon themselves to give each of the HQs a personality. You'll want to remember these, as they'll likely be part of the acceptance exam. I'm on it, I tell him, sitting cross-legged on the floor and readying my pencils and pens, ready to get to work. While I get down to studying, Ron starts to clean. He makes the bed, picks up his papers, throws out the moldy coffee, and pulls out a sleeping bag from the spare closet. Meanwhile, the first thing I read is a fun introductory paragraph. It reads, Hello, new Fledgel. Thank you for your interest in becoming a Citadel member. We want to make sure you're equipped with the knowledge to pass your exams and join our ranks. In this volume, you will find questions and answers, star charts, and other valuable information. Good luck, Fledgel. Wait, how come this is written in English? I ask. Umul translated and prepared it for ya. Want more coffee? Yes, please. I answer while returning to my notes. I have a feeling I won't be sleeping tonight anyway. The distant hum of conversation in the main hall is a welcome white noise. When Ron returns with my coffee, we lapse into a comfortable silence. He pulls out a small square tablet with a stylus, beginning to scribble down his own work. The gentle tip and tap of the plastic against the bright screen comforts me. All my worries dissipate, allowing me to read with a clear mind. One of the most important things about being a Fledgel is knowing which 6 major galaxies Altair protects. I continue reading, but after a while, it all starts to blur into gibberish. Scratching my head, I wipe my glasses, thinking perhaps that the lenses are smudged. No luck. I feel Ron's eyes on me. You know, I'm here to help, he says. My tongue catches. I've been studying for 2 hours now, and I haven't talked to Ron once. I sigh. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm just used to studying alone. To tell the truth, I'm having trouble with this first chapter. He takes the book, looking at it with a smile. As he reads, I drink my coffee, which has already needed to be refilled twice. The galaxies are sorted out in alphabetical order, he begins. So, we at Altair protect galaxies K through P. Another sip of my coffee. Huh? He thinks for a moment. This'll be easier if I tell you how we map out the galaxies. He pauses, working out how to best explain. He holds up a finger. On a Citadel sanctioned map, if you were to try and find Altair, our coordinates would be written as KA2000. He wiggles his finger as I furiously scribble notes that I hope to be able to read later. The K is the galaxy. The A is the subsection of said galaxy. The 2000 is the planet. He sees that I'm starting to understand. He drops his hand, giving one more example. My first ever mission was on a planet called Ralal. The coordinates were MC2250. Get it? I nod vigorously. Got it. So we protect galaxies K through P. What about the others? He crosses his arms, thinking for a minute. Jacria is A through J. Othinda is Q through S. Vesta, T to V. And Edis guards W to Z. Now this chapter's starting to make sense. Thanks, Ron. He beams at having been able to help his smarter brother. Taking my book, I go to work, asking Ron random questions. Eventually, the sound of chit-chatter outside dies into complete silence. The main hall dims. The music of the water fountain echoes. Finally, Ron stands up. Finn, I'm going to bed now, okay? The room is silent. Finn? Huh? I look up from my papers, and it dawns on me what he just said. Oh, okay. Yeah, night. I look back down at the paragraphs that are swimming around in my brain. Ron gets up and slides into his bed. Now the only noise is my stylus on paper. I'm unaware of how much time has passed. Blinking, I rub my eyes. Ron is sprawled out like a starfish, fresh drool staining his fluffy pillow. I stifle a laugh. With a deep breath, I let my eyes close, falling backwards onto my sleeping bag. Reaching out to fix my pillow, my eyes shut. I'm out like a light. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me for another chapter reading of Mystery of Planet Creyenia. If you want your own paperback copy of Book 1 or Book 2, feel free to follow the links down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you pretty soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.